morning. Hi there. Thanks for joining me here today. My name is Adrienne Bradley, and I am your host for the Daycare Q&A Show. And thank you for joining me here this morning. So if you're joining me for the first time, welcome. And if you are coming back, welcome back. And if you could do me a favor, just send me some hearts and likes so I can see you. I'm going to do what I did last week, and I've got my laptop open over here, so hopefully I can see any comments that come in, but it does kind of go to sleep, so I'll keep checking it. But anyway, yeah. So send me some hearts and lights just so I can say hi and welcome you personally. And if you're catching this on replay on our YouTube channel, please just say hi in the comments so I can come in and say hi to you too. All right, so I got the dogs outside, so I'm not going to be distracted by them. I think that works best. It's not raining. It's supposed to be drizzling, but I think they'll be okay for about 30 minutes to an hour. Second, I usually start the show by saying that any opinions or comments that I make here are my own. They're based on my own experience, 20 years being a childcare provider, and they either come from my own personal experience or someone close to me, their experience, and that's what I draw from. But I know that not everything works for everybody, and so please just take something that might work for your business or you might be inspired by, and anything else, just leave the rest. It's probably for somebody else. So you have a business and you run your business the best way that it works for you. We're just here, or I'm just here to give you maybe an unbiased opinion or a different outlook or a different mindset, the way I've handled something or the way I would handle something. So yeah, feel free to discard what doesn't work for you or your business, okay? And let's see. And if you are joining me live and you have a question, like I said, I will be checking the comments. So go ahead and drop whatever questions you might have in the comment section, and I can see them on my laptop, and I will get to them as soon as I can, okay? Lastly, we do have a giveaway every week, and this week is no exception. So I will talk to you a little bit more about that later in the show. But stick around because you'll need the promo code to get the giveaway. I will put the link to the giveaway. I didn't have a chance to do it before we started today, but I will go back in and leave a link to that in the comments or in the show notes, but you need the promo code that I'm going to give you later in the show. Okay? All right. So here's what's going on in the Thriving Childcare universe this week. First, today's show is sponsored by the Provider Planner and Organizer. You can see it behind me here. That's our Stripe version. It is our luxury planner that is just for childcare owners. And we actually have, I said last week that we had only a few left, but I forgot about another stock that I have somewhere else. So we actually have 4 of the Stripe planners that you see behind me, that are right now $20 off because they were an overrun. So we have a little bit more of those on hand, so you can still get your copy now. And again, I say this, I've been saying this for the last month or so, but now is the best time to get your planner for now is the time to get your planner, because you can use it during the holiday season, and we know that next week is Halloween, and after that it is off to the races with the holidays. So we're going to look up, and the next thing we know, it's going to be New Year's. And so I want you to get ahead of that and put down some plans that you have for your business and get your personal plans all in your planner. And so now is the best time to do that and not have to worry about it during the holiday season. Plus, if you get it now, you can use it to plan out all those activities and events and things that you need to get done during the upcoming holiday season. So the link to the planner so you can check it out. You can actually flip through it and check it out. Is in the comment section. So you can just click on that when you get a chance and check out the planner. But again, we only have a few, like I said, about 4 of the stripe planners. I keep pointing on this side, but I'm looking at the screen. Yeah, we only have about 4 of the stripe planners that are at discount right now. So run over and check those out and put in your order so you can grab one of those, $20 off right now. Okay, let's see. Okay, and so this week on the blog, I don't know if you know it or not, but I am the founder and author of the thrivingchildcare.com website and blog. And this week on the blog, I wrote about something that actually scares a lot of providers. And the pun is intended because it's Halloween season. But I talk about and I debunk myths around daycare owners having a website. Okay, I hear this a lot from providers. They're very concerned about not just getting one up, but that it might work against them if they have a client that wants to put a bad review up or put some negative information up on their website. And I debunk that right in the post and a few other things too. So I will leave a link after the show. I'll go back and leave a link to that post so you can go over and check it out. Okay, because it's a good read. It's a short read, but it's information that I know a lot of providers need to know about what it really means to have their own website. Okay, all right, so I'll leave that. And let's see. Finally, I'm getting ready for 2024, as I said before, with my planner. And I want you to get ready too. I want you to have your plans in place for your business growth. And I want to support you in any way that I can. So I put together a survey. It's a quick, I know nobody likes surveys. I don't like surveys either. But this one is only 3 minutes. It's very, very quick. It's kind of a yes-no situation. It's not really, it's not really involved. It's not going to take you an hour. It's going to take you at max 3 minutes. And if you do that, I will give you a gift card. Okay? So I will leave a link to, I turn my phone around. I get distracted whenever, notifications come up. So I meant to turn that around. Yeah, so if you go and take the survey, you will get a gift card. I sound like Oprah, right? You will get a gift card. You will get a gift card. You will get a gift card. But you will. So I think the link to that is in the show notes. If not, I'll make sure it's there after the show as well, the link to the survey. All right. So we're going to dive into some questions here. By the way, that's what we do here. We address questions from other childcare owners about issues or questions that they have or advice that they're requesting about running a childcare business. So every week, this is what we do. And like I said earlier, it's just meant to give you a different perspective, or maybe to give you some resources, or to just get you thinking. And last week I started kind of a new thing by asking you a question myself, from me. So I want to ask you, and I have a question down here, but I'm gonna switch it up. What has scared you? Let's keep with the Halloween theme. What has scared you most about running a childcare business? So what has scared you most about running a childcare business? If you're joining me live, or even if you're catching this on replay, please just go into the comments, and the first thing that pops into your head, leave in the comments or in the chat if you're here live. I would love to know what has scared you most about running a childcare business. Now, for myself, let's see, what scared me most? I think it was the responsibility of taking care of other people's children. That really, kind of unnerved me. I'm a mother of 3 and actually a grandmother of 4 now. So I obviously had well, I'll tell you, even when I started my business 20 years ago, I had experience, parenting experience, right? And I'm just scrolling down to see if anybody's popping in and letting me know. Hey! Denitra says, this is what scared her. Parents saying bad things about me to the world. Hi, Denitra. Yeah, that's what I was talking about when I was saying that I debunked some things. I don't want to give it away. Go over and read the post, but yeah. And you know what? They don't even have to go to your website to do that, right? They can tell other people. Yeah. I can definitely understand that. So if you're joining me even later, come into the comments and drop what has scared you most about running a childcare business, whether it was in the beginning or if it lingered and you still have that fear. Just come into the comments and let us know. Okay. So let's get into the questions. We have quite a few today, so I'm going to try to not stay long on or too long on any of them. But yeah, if you have a question, again, come into the comments, drop your question, and I will try and get to your question as well. If I don't get to it live, then I will come back and address it after the show. Okay? All right. So the first question is, she says, hey, Adrienne, I could use some cheering up. I've been running a cozy home preschool for 7 years, usually with 6 little ones each year, plus their siblings. It's been awesome, but this year's a real head scratcher. Right now, I only have 3 kids. I've tried promoting on Facebook and Nextdoor, but it's been crickets. I'm starting to wonder if there's a shortage of 3 and 4-year-olds around. If I can't get 5 or 6 kids next year, I might have to call it quits. And the whole free state preschool thing in 2025 is making it even more critical or crucial to enroll 3-year-olds. Anyone else dealing with this? So I know we've addressed it here quite a few times, the pre-K and how it is affecting both home-based childcare providers as well as center-based. I'm going to take my glasses off so you can see my face. Yeah, we talked about that before. I know Erica Sicosio, when she was guest hosting, she talked about it. And she also gave some really good advice on how to maybe navigate that and in your own business. So I'll leave a link to that later in the show notes as well. But yeah, this is something that, you know, at least here in California, it's already happening. So when you say 2025, or when the provider was talking about 2025, I don't know where she's located, but here it's already happening here in California. So I have alluded to this, and I'm going to get to it, I promise, because it's something that really, really interests me, is to start talking about different business models. Because one of the things I heard one of the providers come into one of the Facebook groups and say, and I've actually seen it a couple of times, so I don't know if it's the same provider or if it's somebody else, but she said that what she decided to do was to change her business model. And so instead of catering to the infants and toddlers, she switched it up and switched her business model to address before and after school. Because the thing about the pre-K, and I know Denitra Scott has talked about this as well, the thing about the pre-K is it's not a full day program. So you can imagine parents need coverage that extends for their work day. So with the pre-K programs only being a partial day, there is still a need for care on either end. And chime in if it's different where you are, or if you're noticing some different things. But what this provider, the one that I was telling you was in the groups that I've noticed, she said, yeah, she just changed her business model, and actually she said she is full. She is at her max capacity. She's actually making more money than before with the business model of the infants and toddlers that she was caring for. And you can see how that can happen if she's full, because previous to that, she might not have even been full caring for the infants and toddlers. Now, I know a lot of us, that's where our passion is working with infants and toddlers. But you might want to look at maybe making part of your program having a different model for part of your program. And maybe that can fill the gaps in your cash flow, in your enrollment. Let me do this. I'm going to look over and see if there's any comments in a second. But yeah, so we've talked about this. And if it isn't affecting you yet, then you might want to take the time now, and we're about to go into a new year, right? Think about how you might want to restructure your business to address that. If that's something you want to do, how would you do it? And I always bring up Denitra Scott because she's such a big influence on me and the way that I think about different things. And I've seen her say several times to be in these mommy groups. I would say be in local mommy groups, because that's going to give you even more specific information to the demographic that you're probably serving, or at least marketing to see what their needs are. And don't be spammy. Don't go in there and drop your business information immediately, and all of that. Endear yourself to the community first. Maybe answer some questions. Maybe hang out and see what the parents are talking about, what their fears are. I asked you earlier what your fear was, but find out what their fears are. Maybe put up a poll, put up some questions related to childcare, but not specifically your childcare, so that they start to look at you maybe as an expert, or maybe they direct some questions directly to you. But it's also going to give you this wealth of information that you can use to market your program to your community. If you know what their needs are, if you know what they're looking for, what their concerns are, you can address all of that in your marketing. So I would say, you got to market. If she said Facebook, she's tried Facebook, she's tried Nextdoor, try Craigslist. I know people think Craigslist is antiquated, but it's free. Why not? Put up an ad on Craigslist. Talk to the local schools. Find out if their after-school program is full and they still have parents looking for care. Maybe you can get some insight there. But try different ways. I talk about this all the time. Try different ways to market and continuously market, because I've had it happen to me. I know a lot of other providers say the same thing. You never know, when a family is going to withdraw. And it could be for various reasons, but you just never know. I mean, I could be full one day, and this has happened to me. I'd be full one day, and the next day 3 families say almost back to back that they're withdrawing for whatever reason. And it's never really worked to try and convince them not to go, because it's usually some reason, like they're moving, or they have a sibling that's in a preschool and they're going to move the child over to be with their sibling. But the point of it is, you're going to have to replace your clients, your current clientele anyway, at some point. So you might as well get into the habit of building up that muscle, that marketing muscle, and continuously market your business. So let me see if there's some comments here. She said, Denitra said 2025 would be the full rollout. So I guess what she's saying is, what I came to understand before is that in some areas it's already happening, but in 2025 is the full rollout. So if this provider is saying that this is necessarily, I guess she's alluding to that this necessarily isn't affecting or happening in her community just yet. It's coming. So there's no reason to freak out. There's no point in freaking out. Let's develop a plan. Figure out how you're going to deal with that, because if you're having trouble, and I would suggest she go and check and make sure it's not already happening, because she's saying she's having problems finding 3 and 4 year olds. So check and make sure. But either way, let's be prepared. Let's not be scared. Let's be prepared. And think about what we can do, what changes we can and want to make to address that, because, yeah, it is coming. All right, moving on. Next question. Let's see. Where am I? Okay. Hey Adrian, I need a hand drafting a friendly note for my daughter to remind parents about paying for their scheduled days. We can't have last minute cancellations without payment. Yeah, we can't have last minute cancellations without payment. Okay. So as far as drafting a note, I definitely know what that's like. I mean, I think I've shared with you here that I had a habit of sending a text message out every week, usually on Thursday afternoon, to say, hey, don't forget, tuition's due tomorrow, because my tuition's due on Friday. So I have a post-it note, and I will leave you a link where you can just go and download that image. It's actually an image I keep on my phone, so that every Thursday I can just send that image out in a mass message, okay? And if you think that annoys the parents, anyone who's paid, they can just scroll past it or delete it. I haven't had anybody say, could you stop doing that? Because it's just part of, what needs to be done. And it does actually serve as a reminder so that on Friday morning, I don't get all of those, oh, I forgot it was Friday. Oh my goodness, I've run out of checks. The whole drill, right? So I think it helps. It's me being proactive. I know a lot of people feel like we do enough, and we do. But for me, it's one little thing. And by having the picture in my images on my phone, it's an easy thing for me to do. I put a reminder for myself to send it out, and it's gone and done. So I understand the concept of needing notice to go out to your parents. Now, what I would say is, it doesn't sound like for this provider that she's requesting payment before services. I don't know that for sure. Like I said, excuse me, let me get some water. My payment procedure I changed years ago. It used to be Monday morning, but of course I had issues, right? So I changed it to, when I did the whole redo of my contract, I changed it to the Friday previous. Now that did two things. Number one, the public counsel that helped me rewrite my contract said that most people get paid on Friday, so it's really perfect timing, to be honest, to ask for the tuition for the coming week on Friday. It also gave me another opportunity to say, okay, for sure they would have it by Monday, otherwise they would incur late fees, right? So it's due Friday morning in my program, and I give in my contract, in my handbook, how it's to be submitted, where, all that good stuff, okay? And what I mean by that is what payment options there are, whether it's cash, check, cash app, whatever. They are notified, parents are notified at enrollment how they are able to make payment, and where, if they're dropping off cash, if they're dropping off a check. I have a payment box where they go to put it, instead of handing it to me when I'm changing a diaper or I'm doing something crazy in the morning. So because I've lost checks before, so I made it very specific. I would suggest that you make it very specific. I'm talking to this provider. Now, as far as last minute cancellations, if you are dealing with maybe drop-ins, in my program, drop-ins have to be paid ahead of time, okay? Now, that could either be online, if you can do it through your website. That's another great thing to offer on your website, is payment options or payment processors, I guess, on your website, or when they arrive, okay? And if they cancel, there's a fee. So maybe setting up something where when they schedule, I'm just dealing with drop-ins right now, but when they schedule, they have to leave a deposit, and if they cancel, then there's a cancellation fee that's taken out of the deposit, or they lose the deposit, or something like that. So that you can be more proactive in that not happening, because if if there's no consequence, people tend to be very, very lax about it, and they will make cancellations, and it could be for an emergency or something. But just think about any other business that we use for services. If I cancel on my hairdresser the same day, or I think it's 48 hours or something like that, then I get dinged. Okay, either the next time I come in, she's going to add that fee, or maybe she's not going to accept me anymore. You know, there's consequence when you make last minute cancellations. There's consequences when you cancel at a restaurant last minute. Not everywhere, but some places will take a deposit, and if you don't show up or if you cancel last minute, they will take a fee. So I think we have to, and let me just say this, because I know that that's a fear. It was a fear for me too, imposing or enforcing my policies, especially when it came to issues around tuition. But you know what I found out? I found out that if I did that once, they paid attention. Nobody wants to pay more. And I get that. I don't want to pay more. But if there's no consequence, then why not? Right? So I imposed it. I'm thinking of one specific client. The first time I imposed it, I never had that problem with her again. I never had it with her again. So I'm going to tell you to develop the kahunas and do it. Impose some type of consequence. If you don't have a policy or a procedure around your tuition, and I'm talking about all the different statuses, whether it's the full-time and part-time status, the drop-ins, however, the before and after school, whatever status the kids are enrolled in, that you have a payment policy around it. And I'm looking over at the comments. Okay. That you have a payment procedure and policy around it, and enforce it. If you're not going to enforce it, it's not worth the paper it's written on, okay? Because you will more than likely have parents that disregard it. And either they don't know it's a policy, or they don't think that you take it seriously because you're not doing anything and you're allowing it to continue. And I'm saying that because that's what I did for a long, long time. And I've said the story about how and why I went in hard and changed that before, so I won't say it again. But it was getting out of control, or it was out of control. But it was me who had to make the change. It was me who had to enforce my policy. And once I did that, and I developed supporting things around it, like sending the little image of your tuition's due tomorrow on Thursday, to just help support that I was serious. And once parents realized I was serious, they took me serious. They took the policy seriously. So I don't know. I will give you, as far as drafting a note, I can maybe give you a link to that image that I told you is in my phone. But I would say go back and look at your policies around payments and procedures. I can leave you a link to a resource that's in our shop. It's a tuition agreement that you can maybe add to your enrollment procedure and to your contract, that lets the parents know what's due and when, and maybe that will help you. But that's what I would suggest to do first, because and I had to do this several times. It wasn't something I got right out of the gate because I didn't know that I was going to have that issue. But a lot of providers do. I did. So yeah, just go back and see what you can do, see what you can tighten up. Okay, but I will leave a link to that in the show notes here. Okay, next question. Let's see. Hey there. what are the best months to promote my childcare business? By the way, let me stop. I keep forgetting to say, if you have another way of dealing with one of these questions, please go ahead and leave that in the comments too. I'm sure that the providers would appreciate your take on it as well. So for this, when are the best months to promote my childcare business? Go ahead and type in the comments when is the best time you think it is to promote your childcare business. Now, I would say, if you're talking about advertising and marketing, all the months of the year. All the months of the year. And although there might be times of the year that you get more responses or you get better engagement, you're running a business. And I pick on Target all the time as my examples, but you don't see Target or Michael's or Joann's or any, I'm picking stores that I love. You don't see them stop marketing. Every single week they have a flyer or they have an email that goes out to let you know about what's on sale, what the deals are this week. And we know about these stores, right? We're not going to necessarily forget about these stores. So with us having small businesses, why would we ever think that we don't need to market? We need to advertise and market all the time. And I can see, no one said this, but I can see you thinking, well, why would I do that if I'm full? Why would I continue to market? You can put people on a wait list. You can bless another provider by having a network of providers that you refer to. You can even refer them back to your CCR. If you don't have space and somebody is calling you, you can refer them back to your CCR and tell them to go to their referral service and help them find care. But if you do have spaces like I was talking about earlier, a lot of us go through these hills and valleys where we are full and then we have multiple vacancies. And you don't know when you're hitting somebody, when you are reaching somebody. It might be the perfect time. Maybe their provider just decided to close. Maybe they haven't found a provider and they need to go back into work, or you never know what anyone's circumstance is. So if you are running a childcare business, I would say you need to be marketing and advertising 24/7, or 12 months out of the year. And by the way, I addressed that in the blog post this week, how your website can be your 24/7 marketer. It can do the heavy lifting for you. So go read that blog post. But yeah, so anyone else, what do you think about is the best time to be marketing your business? Again, you might see better results, more engagement around this time of year or last month. What was it, like August, September, and October? You might get more engagement at those times. There's usually a dip that we see around the first of the year. But yeah, I would say, and if anyone else wants to come back in later in the comments and give their opinion, please do. But I would say get into the habit. Something that I was talking to someone about recently is that, we're not necessarily marketers. We're not master marketers. We usually don't have a background in marketing. If you do, you're probably doing very well. But if you don't, then that is the reason why you want to continuously do it. Just like anything else, you only get better at it the more you do it, right? So I would say don't lull, don't take time off with your marketing and your advertising for your business, because by the time you need this client, it's probably a client leaving. You know what I mean? I don't know if I just said that right. Excuse me, but you know what I mean. So it can be perfect timing all the time for somebody. Okay? So 12 months out of the year is the best time to market your childcare business, as far as I'm concerned. Again, come into the chat if you have a different opinion. Okay, it is giveaway time. It is giveaway time. So this week I am staying right on topic with the Halloween theme, and I'm giving away a graphic that you can use just in case you haven't put together your Halloween costume last minute. This could work, or if you just want to use it as a sign. But anyway, you may have seen this before, but it says "You Can't Scare Me." It's a Halloween picture. I wish I should have printed it out so I could show you. But anyway, it says, "You can't scare me. I'm a daycare provider." So it's super cool. I think it's so cute. But anyway, we have a t-shirt in our shop that has that, and I think a mug as well. But this you can download and print off on your printer, and you can either print it out on sticky paper and put it on a t-shirt that you already have, just in case you don't have a costume for next week, or if you happen to have some iron-on what do they call those, transfers, then you could print it off on your printer and iron it on a t-shirt, or grab a t-shirt from Michael's this weekend and iron it on and have a real t-shirt that says that. So I'll leave a link to that in the show notes. Again, I was rushing this morning, so I should have had all those links up there for you, but I will come back and put them in the show notes afterwards. But you'll need this promo code. It is free for me. That is FREE in caps, the number 4 ME in caps. Free for me, all caps, free, number 4 me in all caps. And you can get it for free. Okay, and I will leave the link to go over and download that so you can get that for free after the show. Okay, all right, let's move on to, we have 2 more questions, and I think we're doing pretty good on time. I've been going longer than 30 minutes. When we started, we were just doing 30 minutes, but it's like 45 to about an hour about now, but it's cool. Anyway, all right, next question. Hey, I was wondering if anyone, or if you have ever enrolled a child who will be starting in 3 to 4 months. Any tips or experiences to share? Thanks. Yeah, I wrote an article on this years ago, actually. I updated it, and I'll leave a link to that as well in the show notes, but for how to set up a whole pre-enrollment. And the way that came about is I actually had a client. This was really early on in my journey as a provider, and I was getting so bummed out. I needed clients, but people that were coming to me didn't need care for a while. They were either pregnant, or they just had the baby and they didn't need care for a while, and I didn't know what to do, because I needed clients then, you know what I mean? And it was like, well, let me know when you're ready, and hopefully I'll have a spot. And yeah, that was pretty much how I handled it. And then one client, she wound up being my client, and she's awesome. She sometimes you just get those clients that you just love. But when she came to me, she said, listen, it was almost like The Godfather. She said, I'm going to give you an offer you can't refuse. And I was like, what? And she said, I'm going to pay you for the spot in advance. And she did that. She paid for the spot because she said, I want my child to be with you. I looked around. This is where I wanted him to be, but he won't be coming for a while. And it was something like 3 or 4 months, something like that, because she was still pregnant. And she said, I'm going to pay for the spot so that I know that when I need it, it will be there. And I was like, whoa. I was like, okay. And she was right. I couldn't refuse it. She was my ideal client. We got along great. And this was a real win-win. I mean, for me, I got paid for months without really doing the work. You know what I mean? The baby wasn't there. And she had the assurance of knowing that when she needed that spot, it would be available for her and her child. So after that, I looked at that and I developed a whole pre-enrollment program after that. And I refined it over the years, and I'll leave a link to the post because I did go back and update the post so you can see how you might want to structure that for your business, if it's something you want to do. But because I did have to tweak it, not everybody wanted to pay the full amount. But I get into that in the post. But sometimes you can get ideas. That's why earlier when I was saying to go into those mommy groups and local mommy groups even better, whether it's a forum, whether it's an event, or even a local Facebook mommy group, to see what they need, because she gave me a great idea for a service that I hadn't even considered, right? And ever after that, I was able to offer that. I marketed to the community for people who wouldn't be needing childcare for months, but they wanted the peace of mind of knowing that the place where they chose that they want their child to go to would be available to them when they needed it. So I developed a whole marketing plan around it. I would advertise for it, and I got several clients over the years that were in that situation. Now, I will say this: I did make a change and ask for a deposit along the way, because not everybody was like that first client that needed the service, and some of them just dipped out on me in the last minute, and I had held the spot. So I learned better to not do that without a deposit. But the deposit was non-refundable in my program. Now, you might want to do something where you hold the deposit and it goes towards the first week of care. But if you do that and they never come for care, then they can ask for a refund for that. So you might want to think about how you want to structure it if you want to do something like this in your program. But yeah, that's how I handled it. I mean, I kept in contact with, later on I knew to keep in contact with these families who were enrolling early, because I wanted to make sure that they were still interested, make sure they didn't forget that they already had committed to enrolling here and that they had a deposit on file and blah, 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 blah. And also to just say, hey, how's it going? You know, any changing your timeline or anything like that. So there's lots of ways for you to structure something similar in your program. But yeah, it wound up being, it was amazing. And I had other incidents during my journey as a childcare provider, where I got ideas from services from clients, and I either learned from a situation that I should offer that and I hadn't before, or I just all of a sudden started offering that and maybe refined it as I went along. But yeah, lots of ways to do that. Anyone else here have a situation where you have clients that enroll early, and how did you handle that? Come into the comments and let us know how you handle that. Do you have a specific program or procedure for clients who won't be there for a while? Could be months down the road. They're still pregnant or something like that. How did you handle that in your business? Let us know, okay? All right, I want to get to the last question so I don't go too long today. Last question is, hey, I'm looking for some advice here. I'm in the process of expanding to a larger license, which means I need an assistant. The parents are aware of this, but some have been casually mentioning they'd like the job or assume they can take it. Yeah. I want to maintain a clear separation between daycare families and work relationships. Also, their kids don't listen to them during pickup or drop off, which I'd rather not deal with. Any ideas on how to respond? I have been politely avoiding the topic for a while now. Okay, so I want you to come into the chat or the comments and let me know how you would handle this. Personally, I don't know how the parents became aware of the fact that you were going to need an assistant. But maybe you mentioned it, and that's fine. But yeah, I wouldn't do that. Now, I have to take that back because I had a situation in my business where I had a parent. It was a 2-parent family, but I had a parent that had been laid off, and I was trying to maintain the enrollment. Her son was enrolled in my program. So what I did do was, at the time, I didn't have an assistant, and I think I was looking for an assistant. Excuse me one second. Excuse me. I think I was looking for an assistant or whatever the situation was. So I offered to her a reduced tuition. I believe that's how it went. I don't think it was just a trade-off, but or maybe it was. It might have been she worked for free and got tuition for free, but it was a short-term situation because she was looking for another job. Excuse me. So you maybe think about something like that if you want to, but you say you want to maintain a clear separation. And I should say that client, we had other business outside of childcare that we did together. So it was a little bit different. We were close friends. We still are. And so I didn't feel funny about doing that. But I'm with you. I personally like to maintain a clear separation between friends, family, clients, all of that. I don't know if I've ever said here on the show, but when my grandchildren were being born, I made it clear to my children that I did not want to be their childcare provider. And some people might think that's really strange, but it wasn't the money thing or getting all, mixed up with that. I have a really good relationship with my children, but I didn't want my time with my grandchildren to be work. And I wanted the time with them to be special and apart and different from my business and the functions of my business. Not only that, and I will say they did come on occasion for, they weren't full-time enrollment, but when they were on spring break or winter break or something like that, they would come summer for like a week or something like that. But it caused some problems because I'm their grandmother, right? And they're used to doing other things and not having the same restrictions that the daycare kids have. Excuse me. So it caused some issues. So in my situation, I felt like I did the right thing because I didn't even anticipate that. So I don't know. Maybe develop a policy, develop an internal policy. And I'm going to talk about internal policies if I haven't already in future episodes, but develop an internal policy for yourself that you don't hire parents, friends, family. And stand by that and say that it's just to maintain our relationship. Because you know what happens? Just like in your family, when you get, not everybody, but when you get in money situations or business with family or something, sometimes it goes sour. And you don't want that. You don't want that for your business. And you can tell your client, I don't want that with you. I want to maintain the good relationship that we have. And the other thing is, you don't even know how they would take to you being their boss. And it sounds like it's not something you want to do. So that's why I'm taking this angle on it. If it is, there, like I said before, there are ways that maybe you can work it or make it a temporary thing or something like that until you find the right assistant or something. But if it's something you don't want to do, don't do it. Because just the sheer fact that you don't want to do it It's already an issue before you even start. So don't do it. Don't do it. Tell them you already have childcare students, child development students interested in the position. And then go out and seek some childcare or child development students. Or you're looking at providing the best care, and you're looking at people who are educated in child development. First of all, for me, that was very true. My assistants, I looked for them to have units in child development because I want the functions of their position required. Well, it was very helpful for them to have that experience and to have that education. And no, they didn't have to have a degree in it, an AA or a bachelor's or something, but it was very helpful for them to have taken some units and to understand the developmental stages of the children that we were caring for. So that was something that I did look for in my program. And whenever I would advertise for an assistant, I put that in the job description or in the qualifications for my assistant. So maybe think about that. And if those are going to be, what qualities are you looking for your assistant? And it might disqualify them out of hand. And then you can say, well, I'm looking for this, and this is why. And that's if you want to have that conversation. But I would stop talking to them about it. I would just, look for an assistant outside. So let's see. Are there any other comments? I don't see any other comments. Okay. Hey, hi, Krista. Thanks for joining me. I'm about to end the show, but thanks for coming. And by the way, if you have any other advice or how maybe you've been in that situation where you need an assistant and parents were lining up for the job and that wasn't really something you were looking to do, come into the comments and let us know how you handled that. Okay, I'm sure this provider would appreciate it. Okay, so that is it for the questions this week. I hope you're having a great week. I hope you are ready for Halloween next week. Let's see. Yeah, tune in. Yeah, next time for sure. I'm sorry, Krista's asking, will there be a replay? Absolutely. I leave this up on the page for a day or so, or until I can download it and move it over to our YouTube channel, and that's where it lives forever. Okay? But the replay is right here on the channel. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for joining me, though. I appreciate that. So remember, if you have a question, you can submit it early. You don't have to wait for the weekly show, because I know you get busy and you might miss the show or, whatever. But if something comes to mind, go to thrivingchildcare.com/what's your question. That's thrivingchildcare.com/what's your question, and drop your question in here for next week's show, and I will address it on the show. Okay? Have a great rest of the week. And my name is Adrienne Bradley, your host for the Daycare Q&A Show, and I cannot wait to continue this journey with you. Until next week, keep thriving.